Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. I'm your host, Wendy Gathercole. How are you today? I would like to, this week, clarify the three components to eliminating Crohn's from your body. So first of all, last week I talked about lifestyle changes. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but stress is the number one killer in the world. It creates all sorts of problems. When you even have a heart attack, it's probably, it's been known to be stress related. And I believe strongly that Crohn's disease in my body was impacted by my lifestyle at the time, which was quite stressful. There was a lot going on, and I basically woke up one day and I couldn't walk, well, without pain. So what I want to clarify this week is I hear it a lot. That doesn't work for me. That won't work for me. It works for you, but it won't work for me. Now, how much do you want to get better? For one, knowing your body is paramount. If you don't know what makes your body feel better and what it doesn't, well, you won't be able to assist your body at all. It is the number one factor in eliminating anything from your body, in eliminating, or not even eliminating, but knowing how your body works. Even playing sport or just living your life in general. Knowing your body is paramount. And how do you know your body? How do you get to know your body? Well, listen to the podcast that I did a few weeks ago for starters. I'm hoping that I went through that. But knowing your body, if you're trying to live Crohn's free, if you've made that commitment, and that there's a podcast, 5 Pillars of Recovery. So they are, I'll just reiterate that, you can go back to it, but part of that, when I said commitment, you have to accept where you are. That is the number one pillar. You have to accept. Then you have to be committed to change if you want to. Then you have to be aware of what is going on around you and inside you and with everything that comes at you. And then you have to have no judgment about anything that you try and it doesn't work. Then there's no judgment. You just move on to the next thing. Trust me, I know, because I've done it and I keep doing it as well. And then once you get past those 4 steps, then the last one is empowerment. And the empowered feeling that you get when you have just gotten past some aspects of your chronic disease, and maybe you've gotten symptom free but you're still living with the disease, or maybe you've eliminated it completely from your body, or maybe you're on your way to reducing some of the medications you're on. Whatever it is, the empowered feeling you get from taking that radical self-responsibility and being committed to recovery is beyond this world. I can't even explain the feeling, okay? So knowing your body is paramount. And then dietary changes. So what I want to go through here is I may have been able to eat an apple and felt really good when I was doing the process of dietary changes, but you may eat an apple and it might upset you, okay? So what I want to share with you is that's okay at the moment. That is, don't judge that. Just say, okay, I can't eat apples, and move on to the next thing, all right? Because apples are quite high in fiber, and I hate saying sugar, but they have a high content of fruit sugar. And sometimes when your body is in a state of inflammation, especially in inflammatory bowel disease, you can't cope with that. So, and this is just an example. So don't discount the fact that you can't eat fruit. You may not be able to eat apples, but you may be able to eat another fruit. So this is what knowing your body is all about when it comes to dietary changes. This is what I had to go through. So I'm here to assist you in doing that quicker, because there was no one around for me to follow. And with all the information out there today, it's just a minefield and it's just too confusing. Adds stress to your body, puts your mind in a spin, and it won't help you at all, because we don't want stress in our bodies, because it holds on to disease and inflammation and everything else, which is not good for our healing. So this is what I want to get across. Just because one dietary change isn't working for you, you can't just say, well, diet doesn't work, doesn't matter what I eat, it's not going to work. That's BS. If you really want to heal, then you have to keep looking at stuff. You know, you may not be able to eat that because you haven't changed your lifestyle and you've still got stress, or, you know, all of these things. It sounds like a big job, but it's being in tune with your body. So last week I spoke of lifestyle changes. Again, I'm going to say, I mentioned walking, but if you're in a state of chronic pain like I was, walking wasn't conducive to my health. It made it worse, because it just made me realize that it was difficult to walk. I was in pain when I walked, and it actually probably added stress and more mental angst onto me, because I couldn't do what I used to be able to do. So if lifestyle changes, calming your mind, we all call it monkey mind, because your mind's in overdrive all the time about what's going on in your life. To calm your mind and to get in tune with your body, if you can sit or lie and just breathe, just normal breaths, there's nothing, you know, you don't have to do anything in particular, but just put yourself in a state of calm, and then you will be able to get in tune to your body, and intuitively you will know what your body requires. I know it sounds like woo-woo, but it will work. We all try to defy what we think our body needs. I mean, I'm the first person to say that I do too. You know, sometimes I know that I'll need some water, but I'm like, oh, I'm just so sick of drinking water, I'm going to have a beer. You know, and then of course you feel worse, because you haven't consumed what your body is actually telling you to consume. So knowing your body, dietary changes and lifestyle changes are adamant, just so paramount if you want to eliminate Crohn's from your body. Now, when I say eliminate Crohn's, I feel that I have eliminated Crohn's. If you don't feel that, you know, if you don't believe that you can do that, well, then I want you to believe that you can be symptom-free. So I want you to believe that you can work on the symptoms that are causing you angst. And it won't happen overnight, because let's face it, it's probably taken years for us to get into a state of ill health. It's not going to happen overnight, but little, simple, sustainable strategies, step by step, which is everything that I preach, it will assist you in your wellness journey. So what I wanted to say, I've said, just because I've said, you know, walking for lifestyle changes, or, you know, eliminating stress is, you know, number one factor for lifestyle. And, dietary changes, I know that processed foods are not a positive impact for our bodies. They have got lots of chemicals and additives in them that can create pain in our body that you may not be aware of. So if you're wanting to go on this journey of eliminating Crohn's or becoming symptom-free, sometimes just eliminating processed foods does the trick. Like, I know if you've read my book, MSG used to give me chronic pains in the stomach. This was before I was diagnosed with Crohn's. It gave me chronic pains in the stomach. I used to just about pass out. I knew that I had to lie down. I was very sick. And that was because of the MSG in the food. And I was very aware of my body even before I was diagnosed with Crohn's, that things like that had such an impact on me, then I had to avoid them as best as I could, because you don't always get told what's in the food. I believe that we have it easier today because we're more aware. We have lots of foods that, no preservatives, no additives, no MSG, more natural. Be aware of that natural word though. And, so anything that you're eating out of a packet, you need to be aware of what's actually in that food, because it can cause you problems. Like sometimes inflammation in our body, I'm not talking Crohn's, but I don't think this is in my book, but in life, when I was at work, there was a certain, I used to do some paperwork constantly, and there was a way that I was holding a folder all the time, and I had chronic pain in my thumb, like to the point where I couldn't even hold it. So my intuition told me that that it was the caffeine that was causing inflammation in my body. It felt like arthritis pain. I'm guessing it felt like arthritis pain, very, very sore in the joints, assuming that's what, arthritic pain feels like. And I couldn't put any pressure on it and so forth. And my body intuitively told me caffeine. It didn't really tell me. It's just something that I just thought, well, what's going on with my body? And caffeine popped into my awareness. I stopped drinking caffeine straight away. Within days, it was better, and it never came back. And that's not an overconsumption of caffeine either. That was probably only a couple of coffees a day. If you think that's an overconsumption, well, then so be it. But it wasn't like I was having 10 cups of coffee a day for that pain to be in my thumb. Okay, so the awareness that our body intuitively spits out to us is a big factor in knowing your body and becoming aware of what may be putting it in its chronic state of distress. So for me, if you've read my book, you will know this, but if you haven't, then get onto my book, because it will just show you what I went through to get out the other side. So it's basically each chapter outlines basically the steps that I took. Like, it was this one thing to start with, and then that happens. Then I had to get over that, and then that happened, and I had to, keep going until I got through it. And knowing your body is one of the chapters. And in there, it's a conversation that I had with my specialist, and he really paved the way that I traveled to get past my chronic disease, which is Crohn's. And also, It helped me with depression, anxiety, panic attacks as well, talking to my medical team, but telling them how I felt, how things worked in my body, and what made it feel better and what made it feel worse. And that is really what we need to do. We need to take radical self-responsibility of our health, and let our doctors know exactly what's going on and what's working and what's not, because they can't help us unless we do. So you don't just take their word for it. You need to let them know exactly what's going on, because then they will change their course of care. So knowing your body, dietary changes, and lifestyle are still, to me, the three paramount factors of living free from Crohn's. And knowing your body is just, you just need to know that for your everyday existence. So until next week, actually, I will give you a little bit of a snippet for next week's episode. I trusted the operator, which is one of my podcasts. I did something recently that I used my own advice on, and I will let you know what that was next week. So stay tuned and you'll see how I worked with trusting the operator and taking my own advice. So hopefully this has dissected the three factors in living Crohn's free for you. Not to make things, if they don't work the first time, don't make them as an excuse. How desperately do you want to live Crohn's free? And that is how much you will keep going until you do. And I'm here to help, because I know it's a long road by yourself. So if you want some help, click on the link, Living Crohn's Free, and I will get back to you. So until then, take care, live pain-free, and I'll see you next week talking about how I took my own advice by trusting the operator and the outcome that I achieved. Bye for now.